sure you've heard the news. If not, hear it now. Something incredible is happening in Florence, South Carolina, May 22nd to May 24th. Join us for the Open Heaven Anointing Prophetic Boot Camp at Manifest Eagles LLC Church. Dive deep into prophetic training with personal and group sessions. Experience the power of prophetic dance and presbytery. Our special guest, Prophetess Kimberly Moses, alongside Prophetess Sabina Cox and Apostle Ken Cox, will lead you through a transformative experience. Prophets from across the country are coming together to deliver life-changing words from God. Your life changes at the Open Heaven Anointing Prophetic Boot Camp, May 22nd, May 24th. We have day and night sessions scheduled. One-on-one, prophetic training, counseling, group exercises, and teaching. Don't miss out. Register today by calling 919-695-3375 and take advantage of our early bird specials, group rates, and couple discounts. Even if you miss the early bird, it's still priced so that you can receive immense value. Prepare for a summer of spiritual empowerment, divine revelation, and personal transformation. Remember, Florence, South Carolina is where eagles fly and prophets. We will see you there at the Prophetic Boot Camp 2025 at Manifest Eagles LLC Church with Prophetess Mary Mitchell, host pastor at 5412 East Old Marion Highway, Florence, South Carolina. Get ready to unlock your destiny. Hear God's voice. Transform your life. Join the Eagles in Florence for a life-changing event. Call 919-695-3375 today.
Good day to all. I'm Prophet Willie Benning, your great. Good day to all. Good day to all. I'm Prophet Willie Benning, your gracious host for this prophetic teaching session on the Where Eagles Fly network of channels. It is a blessing to have you watching. We are thrilled Apostle Cox is here to share. Apostle Cox is a revered figure in the prophetic community. He has been a continual source of enlightenment and inspiration to prophets around the globe. His profound prophetic insight has resulted in numerous books and constant growth opportunities for prophets and seers. Feel free to contact us after the broadcast, as we would love to hear from you. Call us at 919-695-3375 or email us at apostlecox@gmail.com. Thank you again. Now here is Apostle Ken Cox.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. God bless you. I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys are excited to be here. We give God the praise. We give him all the glory. Truly, God has been good to all of us since the last time we were able to get together. We just want to thank God for his goodness. We thank him for his mercy. We thank him for understanding. We thank him for his wisdom. We just cannot and thank our God enough. I'm excited this morning. I hope you guys are. I appreciate you getting up with us. We got people literally on all of our channels this morning. I'm excited to see boom, boom, lights lighting up. God is good, and we give him all the praise. My assignment with you is to talk to you about Zaphenath-Paneah, the personal pain and healing of a prophet. Anybody been hurt this morning in the prophetic? Let's just move right on into this. When you think about healing and you think about a prophet that's been hurt and a prophet that needs to heal, what would be some of the qualities, I guess we'll start there, that you would consider? I'm talking about prophets that have been hurt, broken. Should they consider personal accountability? Should they consider personal perseverance? Should they think about wisdom in leadership? Should they consider maybe the impact of divine guidance in difficult times? All of these things are legitimate things that you would want to consider, because healing for a prophet who's been hurt is a process. And the sooner the prophet recognizes the process and accepts the reality that they've been hurt, the better. I mean, this is a critical first step, I would tell you. You've got to acknowledge the deposited experiences, because they're critical to healing, especially if you've been through, especially if you've been through some hard seasons in your life. And that's pretty much my assignment this morning, is to share with you, talk with you about hard seasons. Going through those times and understanding how your faith is built and understanding God's plan for your life. And there's no doubt in my mind, and we all have been hurt. Some of us have been hurt. But you're believing in God's purpose for your suffering, and it's going to help you develop the trust. It's going to help you develop the comfort, the strength that you need during difficult times. There is a purpose to the problem, and the hardships of the prophetic ultimately help the prophet learn about their gifting. Many within the prophetic community, the prophetic spectrum, endure various and different types of hurt and different types of being in different types of famines, financial famines, health famines, relationship famines. It's amazing how God allows us to understand this pain, and he allows us to grow and to accumulate wisdom and to help be a transformative figure to others, to help them understand. One of the most powerful tools, I'm going somewhere, is forgiveness. Have you ever had to forgive somebody? And the ability to ultimately forgive is what helps a prophet let go of resentment and find peace. Anybody here ever had to house resentment in your life? It's tough. Forgiveness does not condone the hurt, but it does keep that prophet from holding anger, which ultimately will turn to hate. Been there, done that. I want to talk about a prophet this morning, and by the namesake of Zaphenath-Paneah. This was the name that was given to Joseph. Joseph in Genesis 17. Zaphenath-Paneah, and this was the name that was given to Joseph by Pharaoh. Why would he give him that name? Pretty much the same reason why people know you as prophet so-and-so and so, or prophetess so-and-so and so, or apostle or seer. Because the name represents a different type of status. Genesis 41 and 45, for those of you Bible scholars who I know her. Where do you get it from? Genesis 41, 45. Just go there. It's right there. And we start to see something happen in Joseph's life. Pharaoh himself has given Joseph that name. Pharaoh, the Egyptian leader. In the Egyptian culture, names carry a whole lot of weight. Names speak of leadership, status, the structure of who you are. Are you somebody? Well, this guy is truly somebody. The people don't know him as Joseph. He's Zaphenath-Paneah. He has integrated into the Egyptian culture. I'm going somewhere with this, and I want you to look at this because it's really interesting. When you look at taking a name to incorporate into a group, to have your status change, how does that not totally destroy you or change you? There's a lesson here I want you to look at. One of the lessons is that everything that happened in Joseph's life, everything he had been through up to this point, it's important to understand that his gift was bigger than every situation he had been in. Can anybody relate to that? It's a fact. His personal pain versus his gift. When you look at it, you can't help but say his gift has put him in a place where he would have never have been without it. Despite the pain he's going through, despite the situations that he's dealing with, his gift has placed him somewhere. Consider the most painful issues in your life. Consider how you overcame them. I want you to look at yourself like we look at Joseph, aka Zaphenath-Paneah. And I want you to see how your gift has put you in places around people you would have never met. You would have never been around these people had your gift not put you there. You're scratching your head just saying, well, no, you trust me on this one. I want you to consider that God gives his prophets gifts in such a way that the situation that you're in does not equal your gift. The situation that you're in does not destroy your gift. It's there. I don't care what you're going through. It's there. Look at Joseph's life yet again. Consider his gift. He's despised by his brothers in the early part of his life. They hated him. But he was his daddy's favorite. His gift positioned him. All of a sudden, now you're a slave to a foreman, but you're running his entire spread. Potiphar, he's running everything. His house, everything. Eats at Potiphar's table. He's a slave, but he's Potiphar's number one man. The same gift has now brought him out of prison. I'm going somewhere with this. And his ability to interpret dreams has changed his status. He's not Joseph. He's Zaphenath-Paneah, discoverer of the hidden things. In the military, I was thinking about that because in the military, we would have, man, you a logistics specialist. You a logistics hound. You the man. We need it, go get it. You know where it's at. Those of you, think about that. That's my military friends this morning. His brothers, and let me go here. His brothers have come to see not Joseph. They've come to see Zaphenath-Paneah. They're not coming to see Joseph. because in their mind, Joseph is dead. Stay here. Zaphenath-Paneah is dressed as an Egyptian prince. He's standing there looking at some men who are approaching him that he recognizes. I want you to imagine this. They don't know who he is, but he knows who they are. Look what God is doing here. This is awesome the way God has put this together. On this day, almost 30 years later, God has turned the pain of Zaphenath-Paneah, aka Joseph, totally around. Zaphenath-Paneah oversees Egypt's grain. You want to eat? Go see Zaphenath-Paneah. He's the guy who can make it happen. We're in a famine. But if you want to eat, if your family doesn't, you better go see him. Because that's his job, to make sure everybody eats. Everybody's doing well. So he's the balance. He budgets the balance, so to speak. He makes sure everybody has the things that they need. His brothers need food. They're standing before him, and they don't know who he is. Oh, God. God has positioned him to help his brothers who have betrayed him. Has God ever put you in that position? Let's be real. All of us have not been in that position. Let's just be real. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. And his brothers don't recognize him. He recognizes them. God will always pay you for your labor of love. I don't care what storm you done been through, what you're going through. God will pay you. He will humble your haters. Prophet, I've come as a messenger this morning to tell you, don't run away from God. See the process through. You're going to grow if you don't run away. You're going to get this. You're going to understand it. The saints used to say, we'll understand it better by and by. That means by and by. There's some time had to pass for us to get some understanding. Zaphenath-Paneah, watch this, is standing there. His brothers are before him. Zaphenath-Paneah, aka Joseph, is speaking Egyptian. His brothers don't understand Egyptian because they're Hebrew. So they're speaking Hebrew, and there's an interpreter between them. But here's what's unbelievable. Here's what's funny. Zaphenath-Paneah is standing there listening to their conversation. He's Hebrew also. They don't know it. And they don't have a clue. He can speak Egyptian because, again, status, elevation. This is what God has done in his life. They don't know who he is. Can you imagine this? And now the conversation, what blew me away is they're talking about something that happened 30 years earlier. His brothers are standing before him, fussing in Hebrew among themselves, talking about, we shouldn't have done this. We wouldn't be in this situation. Imagine him standing there looking at them. Imagine him holding his peace, listening to them fuss in Hebrew, not knowing that he is one of them. Almost 30 years later. Wait a minute. What did I just describe? I described some almost 30 years later. You've got a famine, but you're talking about something that happened among you guys when you were kids. Almost 30 years later, you don't even understand why God has got you talking about it, and you're in the midst of your brother who you don't know, who you have hurt and wounded. And now you're talking about it. Has there ever been a prophet? Is there a prophet watching me that can relate to this scenario? They drug your name through the mud. They lied on you. They said this, they said that. And now they need your help. They need your prayer. They need you to come to them. Or they're standing at your feet because they need you. Your gift is required for their mother, or their daddy, child, even themselves. We need to pull on your gift. I know we did you wrong. I know we did it, but we don't even know that is you. And look what God has done. Is there a prophet watching me this morning that can understand what it means, how devastating it is when people have hurt you, especially family? Anybody this morning? Maybe there were some people you knew. Maybe there were some friends. Maybe there were some peers that have hurt you and they did you wrong. And the reality is that you may not have seen it then, but look at Joseph. He's seeing what has happened to his brothers almost 30 years later. They're standing in his presence and they're confused. They're standing fussing among themselves in a different language, because years later, they're still hurting about what they did. Prophet, can you relate to this? Years later, we messed up. Lord have mercy. We shouldn't have did that. Years later, 30 years later, here's what most of us in the prophetic miss. And watch this. Now, most of us, seriously, because when they hurt us, we're angry and we're upset. You're human. I get it. But watch this. God did not send his brothers to prison. God didn't do that. God didn't put them through that. But here's what God did. He put them in a place mentally where they haven't been able to grow. He put them in a place mentally where they're still living in a famine. He put them in a place mentally where 30 years later, at the most strenuous time in your life, you're still trying to make sense of something you did as a young man. What are they? You got to be in your 50s, 55, 60, somewhere around there. And you're still trying to find some peace. And here's Zaphenath-Paneah. standing there watching. I'm going with let me get where I'm trying to go here. They didn't get away clean. And you must understand something if you're Zaphenath-Paneah. And everybody's going to want to be Zaphenath-Paneah. Everybody's going to want to be just. You can't take the pain with you. I know it was wrong. Dumb. You can put stupid, ignorant, whatever adjective you want to put. It was what it was. But you got to let it go. The reality that I've just described is the brothers are still living in pain. They're still trying to find peace. 30 years later. There's nobody watching me can tell me God isn't a just God. He is a just God. Prophet, just because you didn't see them suffer does not mean they haven't suffered. Just because it hurt you to the bone what they done doesn't mean they haven't hurt to the bone. I understand. Through the mud, drug your name, lied on you, exaggerated, called you false prophet, spoke ill of you. Is there anything I'm leaving out? Oh, yeah. They called pastors and they called preachers about you behind your back, tried to shut doors for you in the ministry, generally tried to run you out of ministry, tried to ruin your name. Have I missed anything? Or I'm sure there's some more things that you could probably think of. Yet it caused pain, and yet your gift took you through the pain. Your gift helped you process through the pain. You're still here, aren't you? You're up watching me this morning. You're still here. Your gift continued to open opportunities for you. Some of you watching me this morning are still going through this process. I understand that. I get it. As a messenger, I'm to tell you, allow God to work the plan he has for your life. Do not. Did I say don't? Did I say do not? Run. Don't do it. Stay. Stand your ground. Don't run. I understand it felt terrible because you felt they didn't get punished. And you felt you suffered. And during the whole time, God already had a plan he was working. The healing of Joseph has come full circle. Culture is a really important thing. I was having a conversation with a man of God about culture just a couple of nights ago. Culture is a extremely important factor in how we live our lives and how we handle various situations, Prophet. And you have to understand the culture that you were brought up in to be effective in cultures that God will send you to. I'm talking this morning not to impress you, but I am talking to impress upon you how important culture is. Why am I saying this? I've just showed you some brothers who are living in the past and they can't escape. I want you to consider that this morning. Maybe you know someone living in the past and they have not escaped. They can't move forward. 30 years have passed. They killed their brother in their mind. He's dead. Gone. And look at here. Before him, who they believe to be Zaphenath-Paneah, aka Joseph, their brother, that they done wrong. They stand and now they bow before him. They're in a past that they can't escape. They're talking among themselves about an event. Can we talk about that later? We're here to get some food, but all we can talk about, all we can process is what we done wrong. Talk to me, somebody. Don't tell me God won't get your haters. Don't tell me God won't make things straight. Ooh, somebody shout glory this morning. Think about it. Joseph lives to see the curse reversed, but I got to say something about Joseph. None of this would have happened if Zaphenath-Paneah, aka Joseph, hadn't demonstrated something that is very important to you, to me, and all of us. My question I'm going to ask you, well, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions really quick. If you were Joseph, would you pray for your brothers? It's a fair question. If you were Joseph, could God trust you with that type of authority and that kind of power? The third question, maybe this is a better question than the first two. Is your heart in the right place, prophet? I'm just asking a question. I'm trying to understand some things about Zaphenath-Paneah. And it was hard looking. Can we be real and honest with each other? It was hard looking at his life. It really is. And you have to ask yourself, has my heart softened now so I won't be vindictive? Woo. God, can you trust me with your grace and your mercy? Now I swing back and I ask you the question. Prophet, are we merciful enough to change the culture of our family, to change the culture of our circles, to change the culture of our community, to change the culture of our nation or nations that God will send us to? A famine has come to heal a family. 30 years have went by. That's a long time. 10 men on their knees begging to a man they sold in slavery years ago. Beat him up, beat him down. You remember, you read the story just like I have. And now we see him in position to make a difference in their lives. Everything that has happened is for a reason. Every lie, every stupid thing they posted on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I can't, Levitican, whatever it's called, all of them and the other ones about you, hitting off, throwing off, everything, it's been stupid, and yet it's been for a reason. Let God heal you. What you must understand is that God could not use Joseph unless his heart was in the right place. And I promise you, God ain't going to use you unless your heart's in the right place. What are you passionate about? What is your passion that you would do sitting in the middle of a rainstorm? Would you pray for somebody? Would you go over to the hospital, even though they didn't, I don't believe in no prophet, I don't want no, but you're the one that they need to come. And it becomes apparent God's going to use you. Would you go? God humbles folks, prophet. He's humbled the brothers of Joseph. Joseph's heart put him in a position of power. You think about what Joseph went through. This is an extraordinary prophet. Man, this guy is awesome. He's extraordinary. Because his heart has him in a place where he doesn't abuse his power. Can God trust you and your heart to walk in this type of life-changing power? Because you have been hurt, because you have been broken. Joseph never held a grudge. He said, God, look what you've done. What the devil meant for evil, God, you've turned it around and made it good. It's all good. My assignment is to help you get this. Once the prophet understands that the personal pain of hurt and anger has not allowed you to build a platform for hate, you're going to grow. Man, you're going to grow. You're going to grow mighty. God allows the prophet to loose the grip of hate, anger, pain. If you'll focus on God, you'll grow. He's going to pay you for your afflictions. Understand it was good for Joseph to go through what he went through. Do you think you any different? It's been good for you to go through. It was good for you to go through some of the things you went through. Anybody watching me ever lost anything? Y'all probably don't know what it's like to have a repo. Some people say, what's the repo? What's that word? Maybe lights out in the winter. No electricity in the winter? No, nobody can relate to that, huh? Maybe you don't understand those type of maybe dysfunctional family. Anybody can relate to that. Or maybe psychotic friends. Maybe somebody can relate to that. Or maybe dictator type ministry. Can anybody relate? My assignment is to help you understand that as prophets, we do need strong communities of our peers to provide us with a sense of belonging. We need that. And when I look at Joseph, aka Zaphenath-Paneah, when we look at him, there's something about understanding a strong community that he's placed in. It wasn't his generic community, no. But then again, God may have knew you were a prophet when you were born, Jeremiah. I don't think your mother did. She may have known you were special. My point, somebody said, my mother can say, oh, I understand. No disrespect, man. My point, let me make it clear. My point is that they weren't calling you apostle and prophet when you came out the womb. They weren't. They were calling you by your name. As you grew in the faith, as you were introduced, and then you grew in the faith, aka Samuel, then you grew in the faith. You started to equate and elevate yourself within the gift. Then you started to being referred to more as the gift than as your name. Look at Joseph. He has been positioned to where he belongs in the Egyptian community. But God has raised him through multiple cultures, multiple variations of the Hebrew culture, multiple variations of the Egyptian culture. He understands what it's like to be broken, hurt. Oh, did I mention confined? He understands what it's like to be left for dead and be the favorite son. He understands what it's like to be in the midst of those who were supposed to be his blood brothers, love on him, joke around with him, teach him, share, and get rejected. Can I talk to somebody who's been through that this morning? That's a reality that Joseph went through. Anybody went through that type of reality, anybody dealing with that type of reality, and despite what you went through, you still love people who've hurt you. Talk to me, somebody. Despite the pain, despite how it felt, Joseph still loved his family. Still wanted to see the brother that he hadn't seen in 30 years. Wanted to see his daddy that he hadn't seen. He holds Simeon and say, go get my daddy. Go get my brother. I want you to think about this. Think about, despite the situation, despite what he went through, I know a lot of times growing in the spectrum of the prophetic, that joker did this to me, that joker did that to me, they did this and they did. But what did we get from it? Did we grow? Did we simply waddle in the pain, the hurt? Oh, let's build this platform. Let's make it really strong, because hate is going to need a place, because hate's on the way. I wish somebody would just be honest with me this morning. And there's times where we have to turn back the wheels and say, here's where I was irresponsible in this situation. Did I communicate this clearly? Obviously, I didn't make it clear. Talk to me, somebody. Look at Joseph. It's amazing how when God has a plan for your life, he will take you through hell itself to get you there. Anybody relating to that? He'll run you through the gauntlet. And my assignment is to tell you your gift, although your gift has been ran through the gauntlet, I need you to understand that your gift has not been destroyed. Just because you hurt, just because you feeling that pain, that doesn't mean your gift's not there. They rejected me. I understand. Talk to Zaphenath. Talk to your boy Zaphenath. See what he says. They beat me up and left me for dead. Talk to Zaphenath-Paneah. See what he says about that. I was lied on and was thrown in jail. I understand. Talk to Zaphenath-Paneah. I was in jail and they lied to me. I get it. Talk to Zaphenath-Paneah. Let him talk to you about that. Let him explain that. And then let him tell you how he goes to a culture that he's an outsider in, but his gift, prophet, listen to me now, his gift has allowed him to function in an environment that he was not a part of, but now it's. And his status has changed. This is why he's known not as Joseph, but Zaphenath-Paneah. This is why you're known not as Tim, but Prophet Tim, Prophet Bullhead, Prophet Marblehead, Prophetess Stone, or Prophetess Agil. I'm just throwing names out there. No, I know I said somebody's name. Don't get mad at me. I'm just throwing names out there. So you understand there is a correlation here. There's so much that you can learn from understanding the personal pain. Joseph, a.k.a. Zaphenath-Paneah. It's funny, the world changes our name. We will have a false sense of pride. You ever seen people when they get doctor before their name, chest swells out here, or head gets about that big, or some other professor or whatever title that they think is so prestigious. Yet we get prophet, apostle, watchman. We get those titles and we put them before our names, and we get ordained and we get conferred and we get recognized in that gift. And many times the first thing we think about, why so much pain? How did I go through all of this? I'm going to say this again. A good person to talk to will be our good buddy, Joseph, a.k.a. Zaphenath-Paneah, because he can tell you there's a purpose to the problem. It's time to grow, prophet. I want you to grow. God's got so much for you to do. Listen, if this has helped you, if this has blessed you, I want you to sow into this on today. I want you to sow, and I want you to send us a message today when you sow. I'm sowing for this. Pray for me for this pain, or pray for me for that. Hurt. I've been broken. Maybe you want to sow for someone who's been hurt or broken. The assignment this morning is geared to you this morning. We're coming out. We're coming out of the shell. We're coming out of the famine. I wish I had somebody that would get up and dance about right now. One of them good old Holy Ghost steps. We're coming out. We're out of Lola Bar. We're walking out. We're walking out of darkness into the marvelous light. Walk in the light, sing in the light. Somewhere the dewdrop of mercy shine bright. Shine all around us by day and by night. Somebody say, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, the light of the world. Listen, if you're looking this morning, I want you to call us for prayer, whatever. Should be on the bottom of your screen, should be streaming on the bottom. Opportunities for you to sow into this gift, this anointing this morning. I want you to plant into it. Do your very best. God's going to move, and we're going to be praying for YOU. I'm believing God. I'm excited. So many great meetings are coming up, man. I am so doggone excited. This is just going to be such an awesome year. God is moving, and he's moving in a mighty way. Listen, God bless you. Thank you so much for being with me this morning. Oh, don't forget, get a copy of my brand new book. God bless you.
Did you know, and have you heard, Apostle Ken Cox has a new book called Prophetic Relationships. Prophetic Relationships. Now on sale everywhere, the new book from Apostle Ken Cox is a fresh outlook and reflection of the now generation prophet going from emerging into prophetic maturity. Get your copy today of Prophetic Relationships. All 12 of the other inspiring books Apostle Ken Cox are now available on Walmart.com and other major platforms. Dive into the prophetic insight and wisdom of Apostle Ken Cox with his full collection of now 13 books. These incredible works are designed to guide and inspire your faith as you grow in the prophetic. Grab copies of multiple books for yourself and a friend. Go now to Walmart.com, simply type Ken Cox into the Walmart search bar, and voila, you're on your way to uncovering profound insights and teachings on the prophetic. Or go to www.whereeaglesfly.us and click on the Eagles store. Apostle Cox's work has already touched countless lives, so don't keep this treasure to yourself. Tell a friend, share the journey, and order at any major book platform to get any of